Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Welcome to Remaining a Winner After Losing Your Man, Your Money, and Almost Losing Your Mind. Sponsored by Worldwide Women Speakers of worldwidewomenspeakers.com. 7 women have gathered together for 2 hours with one purpose, and that is to inspire you to hold your head up high as we hold your hands in the air and declare you a winner. I know. You've been through some things. Matter of fact, you're going through some things right now, wondering, worrying about how you're going to make it. Let me just remind you, you are not your circumstances. You are a child of God. And everyone born of God has been declared a winner. Today we want you to muster up and gather up your courage, because today is a great day to show up and win. Today's forecast is 100% chance of winning, so you can't lose. I'm R.J. Jackson, the Courage Giver. And our speakers and inspirational leaders for today are here to inspire you to get up and get back in the race. Our speakers include Law of Attraction coach Angela Denise, inspirational speaker and author Jessica Rowe, author, speaker, and survivor Venus Chandler, mindset maven Athena Blue, and holistic transformational coach Tamika Haynes. Our keynote speaker is empowerment specialist Sharon Stewart. And I'm your host, R.J. Jackson, the Courage Giver, international speaker, influencer, best-selling author, and your friend. And you? Well, you're our special guest. You're a game changer. You're a joy to be around. You're amazing. Ain't nothing ordinary about you. You're a winner. And you can't lose. You're a winner. So don't you dare quit. Because quitters never win, and winners never quit. We have an amazing time lined up for you today. Today you will hear from our inspirational leaders and speakers on remaining a winner even after losing. If you're unable to hang out with us for the time we have allotted, well, simply bookmark your spot and come back. We'll be here waiting just for you. Our first inspirational leader is author, speaker, and survivor Venus Chandler. Venus throws out the safety net for us today, so we want you to step out on faith, admit where you are, be prepared to set some goals for where you're going, and then take action to get there. So if you're ready, join us in the winner's circle.
Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Let's welcome Venus Chandler. Talking about remaining a winner after almost losing your mind. So, Venus, Thank you so much for being here. Let me just ask you, do you have a personal story or an opportunity to share with us personally what you know and feel and have experienced about losing your mind?
Yes, yes, I do. But the very first thing that I want to do, I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to share your time. You could have been doing anything with this time, but you chose to spend this time with us, and I am just so honored. Thank you for that. So, yes, I have a story about me almost losing my mind. I think I lost my mind, but I was able to find it again.
So tell us your story about losing your mind and finding it again.
Well, I got to tell you, 2014, I met my last husband and met him in church. Thought he was the best man. Watched this man for 2 years. We ended up dating. Eventually got married. Thought I was just in heaven. Later into the marriage, found out he was on drugs and he had a mistress. And so he ended up going to jail. When he was in jail, I packed his things, moved him out, and I sunk into this really bad depression. And I'm telling you, in fact, I laid there and just sort of kind of waited to die. And I'm telling you, like, I literally, totally, I do believe, almost totally lost my mind. So, yes, I can definitely speak from experience.
And with that feeling of even feeling like I think I lost my mind for sure, it's almost as if you can say I lost my man and I lost my mind. How do you identify with being a winner after feeling like you lost your man and your mind?
Well, first of all, honey, you must not know my God. I have a God, honey, that is the most powerful, I can remember being mad at God. It's like, you allow this to happen to me. So I was sort of kind of like that bratty kid, and I wasn't talking to him. I didn't want to talk to God, and so I then remembered. I said, wait a minute, hold on. God, He loves us unconditionally, even when we do make mistakes and all that. So I told God, I said, listen, I tell you what, if you keep my mind, I can do all the rest. Because I know that if my mind completely breaks, I'm gone and I'm not coming back. So that's what I did. I reached out to God. I started praying to Him on a daily basis and saying, listen, if I've never needed you before in my life, I need you the most right now. Please, I need you to keep my mind for me.
Well, what if I don't know your God? And what if my God is like pretty quiet right now and I'm like losing my mind? Like, if I don't know your God and I'm losing my mind, how do I identify myself as a winner?
Well, I do believe it has a lot to do with who you surround yourself with. I say this all the time, and I guess I say it all the time because it's very, very, very important. And it's important for times like this when we lose our mind or we feel like we're losing our mind. For us to have those cheerleaders, those people that's going to be like, hey, girl, oh, no, boo-boo, you were born a winner. We are winners, girl. We will always be a winner. And guess what? I'm going to be right there at that finish line waiting for you when you get here. And I need you to keep on running till you get here because we're winners. We're women, you know. We are winners. So I think that's what we need to do is make sure that we have those cheerleaders, people that is going to cheer us on and push us every day and every time we need for them to. When I was going through from that divorce, I screamed on a regular basis. I didn't care who heard me. And I'm telling you, there was times that I was in my car and I even was like, ah!
Did it help?
it helped. It helped. And guess what? There were people who heard me. I didn't think people heard me, but people heard me. And guess what? They came to find out what was happening, what did I need. And that's why it's so important, girls, I'm telling you. It's so important to make sure, just start today. Start today. Find somebody or find a group of people, 2, 3 girls that you know you could pick up the phone the middle of the night, late day, whenever, and say, I'm in trouble. You need those cheerleaders.
Oh, I thought you were going to say start tonight. I thought you were going to say start tonight, just call somebody and start screaming on their phone or something. Like,
you do that
but
too.
if it takes that, right?
If it takes, listen, whatever it takes. Because, see, we don't, it's like you say this all the time, we do not have to die where we are. There's so many of us out here, such as myself, who is willing to be your cheerleader. I'm here, and I'll cheer for you. Because I know that you was born a winner. I know this. It's the way God made us. It's our makeup. We can't help it.
It's awesome to know that someone is there for us. And as women, we're supposed to have our sisters back. We are our sister's keeper. You know, we kind of know that, but at times, like, anxiety and depression and fear sets in. And it's said that anxiety really is a master of trickery. It could trick your mind into believing that which is not true. Like they say, fear, false evidence appearing real. So how do we recognize the tricks that fear, anxiety, and depression plays on our mind? And what can we do to push past that, those tricks, instead of getting caught up in it and losing the game that we were destined to win?
Right, right. Well, we have to be in tune with ourselves. We have to just be who we are authentically. And, you know, ladies, I'm going to tell you, one of the very best exercises I've ever done in my life that I thought was so corny at first was every single day after that happened to me, I looked in the mirror as though I was talking to my very best friend, because I am my very own best friend. And I was talking to her, and I was telling her, which her name is Venus, that girl in the mirror, that reflection. I told her, I said, YouSoBomb.com, you're beautiful, you're fearless, you are enough, you're worth it. I talked to her every single day until she started to understand who exactly she is, how powerful she is, until I gave her a voice. And when she got a voice, she got her power. So that's how I did it.
And what would you recommend we do? The same thing, something similar?
Absolutely. I would recommend you to do the same thing, because for some reason, I don't know what it is about us girls, why we forget that we are our own best friend. We should be taking care of us better than we take care of anybody else. And I'm talking about even better than our children, better than the husband, better than the job, better than the sister gal. We should be taking care of, number one, us. We should be taking care of us first. It's just like that old saying goes, when the plane starts to go down, you need to reach for the oxygen mask first. Put it on yourself first, because if you don't help you, you cannot help anybody else. So, yes, I would say every day, stand in that mirror and you look at her, whoever she is. I don't care if her name is Lisa or Mary or Jane. I don't care. Look in that mirror and you tell whoever she is how beautiful she is, how she's worth it, how she's enough, how very important she is to this world. So, yes.
And really, that's what makes us a winner, the fact that we believe in ourselves. We have the dedication needed, the commitment needed to say, I'm not going to quit. I was born to win. I am a winner. And recognizing who we are is so important. It's a vital part of being a winner.
Absolutely.
Look in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, right?
Exactly.
So you've given us some tools to work with. You've equipped us and empowered us and encouraged us to love ourselves. Give us some words of encouragement that we can take with us when times are tough, when we feel like a loser, and we need to be reminded we were born to be a winner.
Ladies, just remember that without us, this world couldn't even go forth. We are powerful, powerful creatures. I'm telling you this. We are powerful creatures. We were born to win. It's just the way God set it up. We can't help that. Always remember that. Always encourage yourself. Always get around people who are willing to cheer you on, push you through. Always have somebody in your corner that you could pick up that phone and call no matter what time of the day it is. And you might want to have 2 or 3 girlfriends for this. But just remember that we're winners. And I'm not just saying it because it's cliche. I'm not. And I'm not just saying it because it sounds good. I'm telling you the truth. If you look in the Bible, you will actually see. You will see that God made us with excellence. He didn't make no trash. He didn't make no mistakes. He made us to be born winners. Remember that.
And as you remember that, remember this, that we are cheering for you. We're on the sidelines making noise. Screaming for you. Go, go! Yes! 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 Go! Woo! And we're doing that because you were born to win. Venus, leave us with some resources that we can put in our pocket, wear on our heart, and call when we need help.
You know, I don't know if anybody know about the suicide hotline. You can always reach out and talk to somebody there. I know that sounds kind of drastic, but listen, it is definitely a resource. It is a tool. Not to mention, my name is Venus Chandler, and you can find me on Facebook. I'm here to be your prayer partner. I'm here to be your cheerleader. I am here for you any way that I could help you.
How many of you would agree with Venus? It's true. I believe it is. We need cheerleaders. And for many of us as women, we often feel like we don't have enough people in our corner cheering for us, in the winner circle with us, rooting us on. Matter of fact, for the most part, many of us feel alone. We're trying to run a business. We're trying to do our family, keep our marriage together, go to school. We're trying to do what winners do, but we just feel alone. And oftentimes we wish and wonder, why aren't people calling us? Who's going to call me and tell me, girl, you got this? Well, girl, you are not alone. Here at Worldwide Women Speakers, we are working on it too. And we are cheering for you. So we want to invite you to join us in our Facebook group, Girl, I'm Working on It Too, at Facebook/Girl, I'm Working on It Too. Come be a part of a safe community of women who support, encourage, enlift, and help each other rise with resources, inspiration, support, and empowerment.
Have you been victimized or traumatized? Do you wish someone would hear your silent scream, understand your story, or know your truth? Venus Chandler, survivor, author, and motivational speaker, hears, understands, and knows the truth about being victimized and traumatized. She has dedicated the rest of her life to helping women like you to find their voice and rediscover their hope, strength, courage, and their power within. If you are ready to regain your voice, connect with Venus today at www.venuschandler.com or info@venuschandler.com. Purchase Venus's book, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth, on Amazon, or contact her via email for a personal signed copy. Let your silent scream be heard.
Our next inspirational speaker is holistic transformational coach, Tamika Haynes. Tamika is prepared to tell it like it is, to tell her story, her truth, for your healing and your hope. We want to invite you to prepare your heart for authentic inspiration to help you get through those moments you just got to laugh in order to keep from crying. Laughter really is medicine, and it is healing. Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. And not that there's anything wrong with crying, but I'm telling you there's something amazing about laughing. And as women, we simply need to do it just a little bit more, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Tamika, thanks for being here. And would you agree that laughter is healing?
Yes, welcome, ladies. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to speak with everyone and to talk about how we can remain winners even when we feel like we're losing.
Tamika, when it comes to losing your mind but remaining a winner, what's your story? How has anxiety, depression, or even fear made you feel as if you were literally losing your mind?
Yeah, depression has definitely made me think I was losing my mind on more than one occasion, and so has fear. So with depression, for me, it's made me feel like I just wouldn't and couldn't get better, or that I was not going to, make it through whatever I was going through at the time, or I just wasn't strong enough, So you would just go into what they call a sunken place, and you just fall a little bit deeper, and you're like, my goodness, this just can't be life, basically. Like, what is the point of even going through this, or even to keep going at all? So, it's made me think that there was no hope. And that's definitely a big part of losing your mind, to lose all hope. It's just not a good place to be in. It also, at times, depression made me feel like something I did was wrong. It always made me run things over and over in my mind to figure out, okay, what did I do to deserve this? When in actuality, I didn't do anything. Sometimes the trials of life just happen. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that things are happening and you're not processing it correctly. And it's just the ups and downs of the depression at times. And also at times there could be nothing wrong when it comes to depression, depending upon what type of depression, I'm dealing with at the time. Sometimes it's triggered by stress. Sometimes it's not. It could be a chemical imbalance. So, just thinking like something's wrong, something's definitely wrong with me. This is not normal. I'm not normal. I shouldn't even be depressed. There's nothing even going on today. So that would, make you run back and forth, and make me run back and forth in my mind, trying to figure out what I did wrong, or I must be crazy because nothing's even wrong right now. Everything's okay. Fear also does the same thing. Like it really makes you second guess. It made me second guess who I was. And it still, pops up from time to time, because fear is something that just does not go away for anyone, I believe. So, it makes you second guess who made me second guess who I was, and it keeps making you think bad things are going to happen, when in actuality, what you think is going to happen is probably not going to happen at all. So that's how I've had to deal with depression and fear, and how it's absolutely made me feel like I was going crazy at times.
So give us an example of a time in your life where that has actually happened. You've had a story on depression or going through depression or that incident of fear.
Okay, for example, let's start with fear. There was a time where I was appointed to a position at my full-time job, which is it was what's the title? It was I was just basically on the advisory council for the director of the entire organization. So fear had me thinking that I did not have enough experience to do the job. I was going to mess up. I was going to fumble. I was not going to be able to speak and freeze. I was just going to embarrass myself, basically, in front of the rest of the council and the director, himself. But like I said, most of the time, fear have us running around in circles in our mind. So for me, I was doing all of these flips and circles in my mind, and it turned out to be, one of the best terms of the advisory council. And, we did a phenomenal job. I did a phenomenal job leading per, the feedback I received. So everything that I thought could go wrong didn't. And I was just driving myself up the wall for no reason. So that's one example of how fear just drove me up the wall, worrying the day before a meeting or worrying, okay, did I say the right thing? Is this going to turn out right? And when actuality, the things that we're afraid of are possibly not even going to happen.
So fear drove you up a wall, but it didn't drive you to the winner's finish line. So how do you actually identify with being a winner after feeling like you're losing your mind and you're going up a wall?
The fact that I chose to do it anyway, that I chose to do it afraid, that I chose not to give up. I could have easily backed out of the position. I could have easily turned it down. But facing that fear is how I won. I did not always know what I was doing. I did not always know what I needed to do. But I faced the fear every chance I got. And that's how I came out a winner. Not that I did it perfectly. Not that, whatever it was that I was afraid of, whatever it was that I was doing, I was afraid of it. But facing that fear makes you a winner in itself. You've already won, regardless of what the outcome is, because you faced something that you thought you couldn't face. So whatever it is that you're facing right now, face it head on. Do it afraid, because doing it afraid is how you win and how you defeat whatever that thing is that you're afraid of. You don't know what's on the other side of it until you actually go through it.
I love that, because it reminds me of life on the other side of fear, because that's what happens on the other side of fear. There's life, there's victory, there's celebration, but we do allow fear to keep us from moving. So thank you for encouraging us to face it head on anyway. Just face it. And, that kind of takes me to the fact about anxiety. It's really, and you spoke to this already, it's the mastery. The anxiety is the master of trickery. I mean, it will trick our mind. So how do we actually recognize those tricks that our mind plays on us, and what do we do to prevent from going forward, like putting one foot in front of the other? Like, what do we do?
So for anxiety, most of the time, anxiety is just a response that your body is having to the fear of what's going to happen. So you have to put it all into perspective. You think about, even because you're anxious, you're first going to have to calm yourself down. Take a minute, in that time, whatever you're anxious about, to calm down. If you have a few minutes to step out, walk around, get some fresh air, to pray, to meditate, just bring yourself back down, bring your emotions back down to where you can get to a point of reasoning with whatever it is that you're trying to face. And then when you're able to reason and bring your emotions back down, then you can think about the pros and cons of what you're about to face. You can think, you can actually put it into perspective that, okay, I'm thinking that the whole building is going to fall down. What is the likelihood of that even happening? So you're building up a little bit of courage with each step, and with thinking and putting everything into perspective and asking yourself, is this really real? Like, is what I'm thinking going to happen? Is that actually going to happen? And if it does, would it be the end of the world? Most likely, no. Most of the things that we're afraid of, making a mistake about or doing it wrong or, not getting it right, it's not the end of the world. And at that point, you face it.
Someone once said what the end of the world would be for them as they go through depression is to have someone find out about their depression. So we got an email saying, I am a leader in the community. I'm active in my church. Many people look up to me, and I suffer with depression. I really don't want anyone to know what I'm going through. I don't think people will understand. Is keeping my secret of depression and anxiety okay? How would you answer that?
I would answer that by saying no, because what I realized with depression is keeping it to yourself. It's like you're placing a bomb inside of you, and you're just letting it tick. You're just letting it tick. You're leaning upon yourself, and no one is an island. We all need each other for something. So not letting someone else in or talking to someone, it doesn't even have to be a person at first. You can find someone confidentially to talk to, but you have to find the support you need, because that support is important for those days where you really can't do it on your own. And depression can get to that point to where you just, don't want to go on anymore. But if you have someone you can confide in or call or even email or talk to, they can help you, come back, pull yourself back from that. Until we open our mouth, the help we need doesn't show up. And then we also take away the opportunity to help someone else, because there's someone else that may be waiting for you to say, yeah, I was depressed, and and this is what's going on in my life. And they can say, you know what, me too. Or they can say, hey, you know what, I went through that last year. And they can help you and you can help them, and then you're helping each other. So, no, it's not a good idea to keep it a secret. I can understand if you don't want those close to you to know until you're comfortable with it, but you definitely should find someone you can confide in to get you through it.
And one of the reasons why we do what we do is to help women understand, number one, they're not alone, and number two, there are people who understand, and we are those people. So I do want to say thank you to those of you who send emails into Worldwide Women Speakers so that we can walk with you. And the fact that you took the courage to go head on and send us this email, it says that you're looking for resolve. So thank you so much for your courage, and you'll find that here, resolve. So Ms. Tamika, thanks for sharing that answer and reminding us as women as a whole that we're not alone. And when we share our pain, it is for someone else's gain to find hope and possibility. So whatever you're going through, whatever it is, remember, sharing is caring. It's allowing someone to say, I care, to see you remain a winner even after you feel like you're losing your mind. With those words, leave us with some words of encouragement, maybe a quote or something that you want us to remember, something to remind us that we were born to win, and we are not what happens to us.
Yes. You know, winning is important to some of us. To some of it, it's not. But the one quote I want to leave you with is, winning is great, but if you're really going to do something in life, the secret is learning how to lose, because at times you will lose. That's a part of life. Nobody goes undefeated all the time. If you can pick up after a crushing defeat, after a crushing day of depression, after an anxiety meltdown, and get up and go on to win again, you'll be a champion someday, because you learn more from losing than winning, because you learn how to keep going, and that's so important. We're not always going to win, but we can teach ourselves how to keep going.
Oh, good stuff. And I know there are women who want to keep going. They don't know how to keep going. They don't have the resources that they feel they need to keep going. So in closing, the most important thing we can do is give women resources. What resources would you recommend for women who feel like they're losing their mind and they need to be reminded they were born to win?
The resources I would give them is to one, find a way to remember who they are. Find a reason to keep going first and foremost, because sometimes, truth be told, we don't keep doing it for ourselves. Sometimes we are doing it for other people until we're able to do it for ourselves. So find that one person that's going to keep you pushing, that's going to keep you getting up every day. And then find that one person who's going to help you through the rough times, whether it be a counselor, whether it be your best friend. That's also a resource. Also, prayer is just can't not be mentioned, because prayer gives you that inner strength that you need, and that's a resource to help you strengthen yourself to keep going. Those are some of the resources that I use, and I would encourage you to use those to help yourself to keep going.
Tamika, I really love and appreciate how you just shared. Those are some of the resources that you use and then encourage us to use them too. What you just said literally spoke volumes to us as women, because sometimes as women we look at other women and we feel, oh, they got it all together, there's nothing wrong, they got it going on, and we think it's just us, and we don't realize that we are us, and we're all in the same position, just at different times, different seasons, and for different reasons. So thank you for reminding us that as women, we're never alone. And there is another woman who understands and wants to walk with you and encourage you. And for reminding us today that even when we feel like we're losing our mind, we can remain a winner because we were born to win. Please help me, join me. I know you've enjoyed it, so please give Miss Tamika, if you will, a round of applause.
When it comes to your health and well-being, you should never take a one-size-fits-all approach. Life affects your health, and your health affects your life. If you've been dealing with unresolved health concerns or life issues, it's time to take a holistic approach. As a certified holistic practitioner and life coach, Tamika Haynes is committed to getting to the root of the problem. Schedule a free 25-minute consultation with Tamika by calling 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373, extension 910.
Yes, laughter is good for the soul. You know, John Maxwell said we should laugh at least 7 seconds every morning when we first get up. And I tell you the truth, I solely, totally take that to heart. Every day I start my day laughing. And for more than 7 seconds, because I watch my favorite video every single day, the same video, because it totally cracks me up every time I watch it. I discover something new in the video, and I make sure I get my laugh on, because laughter really is medicine for the soul. Thank you, Miss Tamika, for reminding us about laughter and how important it is to share, because sharing is caring. You don't have to do this alone, my sister. There are people who care about you, who want to see you do more than survive. We want to see you thrive. You have to be willing to find the courage to speak up and tell your authentic truth about where you're living and what you're going through. Please find someone to talk to and talk about how you're feeling. Here at Worldwide Women Speakers, we simply cannot let you do this alone. We're here for you because we understand that we were created for connection. So let's just take a moment out and say thank you for connecting with us, for allowing us to journey with you to get to the finish line of greatness. Listen, you're almost there. Don't you dare quit. Besides, quitters never win, and winners never quit. Did you hear me? I said quitters never win, and winners never quit. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. You say it. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. And you, my sister, you were born to win. You're a winner. Ohio Players sang the song, Pain is in My Heart. Do you remember that song? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Pain is in my heart. Oh, I hear you. Somebody just said, I don't remember the song, but I know the pain because it's in my heart and I'm living it right now. Speaker and author Jessica Rowe discovered the truth about pain, its correlation to depression and anxiety. Staying on the surface, medicating her pain, well, that wasn't enough for her. She dug deep by sharing her story with her doctor, and today she shares her authentic truth with you and I. Let's join Jessica in the winner's circle as she shares her story of almost losing her mind, but remaining a winner. Jessica, thank you for your courage to share, and we're excited to hear the practical information that's going to cause transformation for the pain in our heart.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It is my pleasure and a blessing to be here to share my story and inspire you to move forward and take action on your goals and dreams.
Why don't we just go ahead and get started? Because everybody has a story, even though we think, oh, no, it's just me. Don't nobody understand. You know, we're either going through something, we went through something, or we're about to go through something. So when it comes to losing or almost losing your mind, Miss Jessica, what's your story?
Pain is my story. It started back in 2014. I was experiencing a tremendous amount of pain. I was taking all types of over-the-counter medication and trying to get my rest and my sleep in and just doing a whole lot of things with working, the kids, going back to school, and all that good stuff there, which, well, I thought it was good stuff. But after just maybe weeks and months of agonizing pain, I went to my doctor and I asked my doctor, I'm like, why am I in pain? Why isn't anything that I'm doing to correct my pain or relieve my pain? What's going on? Why is it not stopping? I had pain so tough in my chest area and in my arm area. I thought I was having a stroke. I thought I was having a heart attack. And after really just sitting there and talking to my doctor, and that is so important, to talk to your doctor and have a good conversation with your doctor, we discovered that I was going through anxiety. I was going through depression. And I'm like, anxiety, depression, but how? I'm finishing up school. You know, I feel like I'm living a good life, but this pain is still here. And so we dug a little bit more deeper into what could be the cause of my pain, the underlying thing. And it was because I just put too much on myself. I expected too much of myself. I was overthinking a lot. And mainly after graduating from school, I was not getting the responses that I wanted as it adhered to my career goals, my job objectives. So I was getting a lot of letdowns and turn downs and things of that nature, and it just brought me into so much pain, and discovered that, hey, you're suffering from anxiety and depression right now. You are I felt like that I was in the midst of almost losing my mind.
Your doctor shared with you after you shared with him, which is something so important for us as women to do, share, which we don't do very much of, and we don't do it very well. But you shared with your doctor that something wasn't right. You didn't have this feeling that coincide with your values, with who you knew you were, because you knew you were born to be a winner. But how did you feel when the doctor said anxiety, depression? Did that make you feel like worse or better, knowing that you could at least identify what the problem was? Or did you feel labeled and feel worse?
At that time, I heard of anxiety before. I had heard of it. I knew what depressed was. I didn't know personally what it was like, but I had heard. It was just like a hearsay of people having anxiety and depression. So it kind of didn't register with me at first, but I did feel good that it wasn't a stroke or a heart attack or anything else that was, health-wise in my body. I did feel good to that point, but when I really started to do my research and talk to the doctor and, communicate with the doctor more, I started to learn more about the things that can trigger anxiety, the things that can trigger depression. And it had me recollecting and going back to like, okay, what were the things that I was doing that I didn't even know that could, promote distress, attribute to the depression. I had to look back on my attitude, my mind, my thoughts, my overthinking, and my patience. Number one, things that could just like raise my blood pressure. I heard of high blood pressure and getting upset, things like that. You can get high blood pressure from that. But I didn't know anything about anxiety. I didn't know you can develop anxiety from those same different feelings, those same type of feelings, I should say. So it was a relief, and then it was a turn on for me to start doing my research to see how can I combat this and how can I prevent this.
That's a great segue into my next question for you, because we recognize we got the answers of what it is, but what do we do? Because, they say anxiety will play some tricks on your mind, make you think some things that's not true, make you do some things that you don't deserve to do. So what can we do as women to recognize that, wait, that's a trick, that's not the truth, that's a trick, and it's taking us down a path that's not going to lead to life? What kind of preventive measurements can we take? What did you find in your research as well as in your experience?
I found, for me, meditation helped a lot to calm my mind down. I was the type of person who needed to be in control. I wanted to try to control everything. Prior to me, or I should say as I was enrolling into school, everything was just happening the way I wanted it to happen. I mean, it was like the green light was go for this, go for that. And that was for about like 3.5 years. But after that time and after I graduated, I'm like, okay, come on, green lights, keep coming. And I started seeing yellow lights and red lights. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? This is not right. I'm used to these green lights. And so me getting upset and angry and frustrated over those things, that was the causing of my anxiety. So I'm like, okay, now I have to learn some type of therapy or something to help me calm this down. So in talking to my doctor recommended meditation. I'm like, meditation, I heard of that too, but how do I do that? And he told me, he said, YouTube is your friend. Go on YouTube. There are thousands of meditation music that you can play that are 2 and 3 hours long, and they're guided meditation strategies that you can use to help calm yourself down. And therapy, counseling. My doctor was like my therapist. Talking to my doctor is sending him emails. He, helped me out. Trusting friends and family. You can't trust everybody, but somebody that you can really go to who can understand. And the most important thing about you going to somebody who can understand, going to someone who has a full cup, someone who is already full, because you can't get what you need from a person if they're on E2, and if they're on emptiness as well. they can't pour into you. So you want to make sure, and, that's no shade to anybody, but you just want to make sure that you are going to people that are helpful. You're going to sites that are helpful. And I also learned that there's some affirmations, that you can look up, things you can write down on a piece of paper or put on your phone memo in case that time comes and you feel like you're getting stressed out, you feel like the anxiety is coming about. Open up that phone, get that piece of paper out, read over your affirmations, read over any types of quotes or things that help you and make you feel good at the moment and the time you feel that anxiety is about to kick in.
Wow, that was so rich. I have 1,000 questions to ask you, but I can't. So I'm going to just pick out a couple that you can help us with. First, let me just say I absolutely love the go to someone with a full cup. In other words, find someone who's healthy. It doesn't mean they don't have problems, but they're healthy enough to sit with you, to get underneath you, and walk with you. That was powerful. Somebody needs to write that down. Find somebody with a full cup to help you get through. And I also really appreciate the fact that you gave so many examples that we can implement immediately. Let's try the affirmations right now. Give us 3 or 4 affirmations that you feel we could use when we feel ourselves going down that path, that our blood pressure is going up, we're starting to doubt, we're starting to have fear, and the anxiety is kicking in and taking over. What can we say to ourselves? Because affirmation is talking to yourself, telling yourself positive statements that will remind you of your greatness. What can we say to ourselves to remind us that we were born to win?
You can say, I am worthy. I am conscious. I am here. I am alive. I am grateful. I'm thankful. Stop and think about all the things that you are thankful for. Stop and think about the things that you have access to. Don't let little small things get to you. And that's what I used to do. I used to let little small things get to me where you think about it maybe 20 minutes later and you're like, okay, that wasn't a big deal. Why did I let that get to me? Why did I let that person who cut me off get to me like that? You shouldn't have got like that. So I start saying my affirmations and say, hey, it's not that serious. I'm worthy. I'm greater than this. I am powerful. I have other things and better things to do with my time, with my life right now. I'm not going to let the small things get to me. I'm not going to let those small things affect me. And this takes time. It takes practice, because if you're someone who is constantly on edge, or that your triggers or buttons can be pushed easily, it's going to take time for this to sink in. But at the same time, you don't want to feel that pain. You don't want to feel those headaches, that anxiety. You don't want to feel down and have an attitude. And, you want people around you, and you want to be around people. You don't want people saying, uh-oh, here she comes again. She had attitudes every now and then. So you have to change your whole mind frame. You have to change your whole way of thinking and affirm yourself, uplift yourself, and empower yourself.
I hear somebody thinking out loud right now as they're listening, and they're saying, this is good stuff, because she is talking about me. She is all up in my mail, reading my business. And so that's what we do here at Worldwide Women Speakers. We actually get in your business, we get up underneath you, and we remind you there's greatness inside of you. You are worthy. You were born to win. And listen, sister, you're a winner. So as Jessica said, remind yourself, and then allow other people who have a full cup to remind you as well. So, Jessica, you talked about you being like, my own words, a control freak, right? Like you had to be in control. And
how does one recognize the fact that, ooh, I really am a control freak? Because usually when we like control freaks, we don't want to admit it. So we're like, no, that's not me. So how did you come to that conclusion that you like to be in control, and how did you learn to let go?
Well, my impatience showed me that I like to be in control. Getting a recent speeding ticket, showed me like, I needed to be in control at that time. Like I wanted to turn when I wanted to turn to make that left-hand turn on that red arrow. Knowing good and well, I shouldn't have done that. Things like people saying, okay, give it a couple of days, give it 2 to 3 days, give it 2 to 3 weeks, or whatnot. And it's like, no, let me call and see what's the holdup, what is going on, what is taking so long. And I've learned by doing that, I only hurt myself. I only hinder myself. I only get myself all worked up and, psyched up and things like that. And I was tired of feeling that way. And I had to say, okay, stop. They said it's going to take that amount of time. Wait for that amount of time for it to go through. And it was just, a perfect example last week. I was so anxious to call and see what was going on with a matter that I was dealing with, and I stopped myself. I said, no, stop. They'll call you. They said they're going to call you. Stop. And about an hour later, I got that phone call, the phone call that I was waiting for about that certain matter. As far as like things coming in the mail, I'm calling customer service. I'm emailing customer service. I'm like, what's going on with my package? It should have been here by now. And I had to stop myself on that aspect as well. And the next day, the package was in the mail. So it's like calming myself down, waiting the time, giving myself a certain amount of time to wait within, even though you get 2 to 3 days for shipping or 2 to 3 days for calling or whatnot. So let me give it 2 or more days afterwards, because things happen. Things do get out of control. Things don't always go with the flow. So it's like, wait, be patient, take your time, give it a couple of days afterwards, then go ahead and make the calls, then go ahead and do the email. So I'm learning, and I have learned, more to calm myself down. Just take a couple of deep breaths, go play a video game on my phone if I'm not, too busy, watch some TV, something to get my mind off what I'm so anxious and it's more of an excitement. It's not necessarily being upset or angry. It's like, I'm impatient. I want it now. It's a good thing and I'm excited about it, but, I just still have to learn how to calm down and respect what's going on, with the time frame and within this world, because there's so many things that go on and so many things that could prevent other things from happening. So just have to be more patient.
So let's do a little survey right now. How many of you would say Jessica is really talking to me right now? Just say the word me, 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 me. That would be me. Yes, me. Me.
Right. Me.
All right, so just a reminder, listen, you're not alone. You're not the only one feeling that way, like you got to be in control. You're not the only one who needs to wait and learn how to wait. Man, Jessica, you're speaking to so many of us right now. Speak to us a little more. Give us a little word or words of encouragement to help us realize that even when it looks like we're losing and we don't have patience and things aren't working our way and we fall into a little funk, what words of encouragement can you give us to remind us that we were born to win?
You are not alone in this fight. Everyone goes through stressors. Everyone goes through anxiety, some form of depression, and it's okay. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. nothing to be ashamed about. And that's what I had to learn as well, because I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I didn't want to tell anybody. I held that stuff in for so long that I just had a meltdown, a breakdown, and my husband, my family, and everybody was like, what is wrong with you? And I just had to go ahead and tell them. So my advice to you all is don't wait to tell anybody. Go to somebody and let them know that, hey, I'm not feeling good. Hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Something is not right. I need to talk. Don't be embarrassed. It's okay to let people know what's going on with you. People, again, that are, that's full. Go to them, talk to them, and just know, they may be able to refer you to someone. They may be able to say, you know what, about 2 or 3 years ago, I went through that myself. Here's what I did. So you never know. Don't hold it in. Don't keep it inside. And just know you are not alone with this. We have a great amount of women here at Worldwide Women Speakers that can help you with your situation, help you, motivate you, encourage you, and help and fight with you, fight along with you, and, to help you not to give up. So that's my words of encouragement for you all. Please, please, just say something to somebody, call somebody, reach out to somebody.
Okay, I just had to be your cheerleader right now, Miss Jessica, because that was, awesome. That was really good words of encouragement. So close us out with this, if you will, because if we're ready to reach out and touch and get help, but we don't know where to go, what to do, where should we start? Where's one place we can start to get help?
Go to your doctor. I would highly recommend you go to your doctor. Go to your doctor and make an appointment and just say, I need to talk. I need to talk to your primary caregiver and talk to them and let them know what's going on with you, because at the end of the day, they are the professionals and they can give you recommendations that you need to help you pull through and help you get through this.
There's always a place to start, and the key is to start. Jessica, thank you for giving us a head start in the race of winning, because we were born to win, and we say thank you.
Do you have a dream in your heart that you desire to see come to pass? Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? If so, then this is your season. Author and inspirational speaker Jessica Rowe has made it her mission to help aspiring entrepreneurs turn their ideas into action by providing helpful strategies to achieve their goals of full-time entrepreneurs. If you're ready to break out of your shell and shine, let Jessica Rowe help you discover a new level mindset. Contact Jessica at 877-235-0373, extension 913.
Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are of a good report, think on these things. And that, my friend, is called meditation. And Jessica shared with us how meditation can be healing for the mind. Try it. You might like it. Oh, and don't forget to add affirmations, those statements of encouragement and inspiration that remind you that you are a winner. Come on, say it with me right now. I'm a winner. Yes, I am a winner. Yes, you are. Jessica, thank you, girl, for reminding us and for equipping and empowering us with the tools we need to succeed, to continue to run the race, because in the end, we win, because we were born to win. Thank you, Jessica. Listen, I know you took some notes, and now it's time to take action. It's time to put into practice what you've learned today. But wait, we're not done. There's more to come from the worldwide women speakers and our inspirational leaders. Don't go anywhere yet.
Need a quick pick-me-upper? Tune into the Conversations on Courage podcast every Tuesday at 3:30 PDT for a down-to-earth conversation on courage, confidence, and the success strategies that you need to succeed at home, work, or in your business. Catch the replay or listen live at rjjackson.live. That's rjjackson.live. Whether you are looking to encourage, educate, inspire, or motivate, hiring a worldwide women's speaker is the perfect way to wow your audience. With such a wide range of talented speakers to choose from, finding the right person can be a bit challenging. That's why we are here to help you. We have the right speaker for your conference, training, and women's event. Contact us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Coming up next, mindset maven Athena Blue brightens up our world and washes away our blues. From buying to budgeting, Athena walks us down the path of recovery after losing our money and remaining a winner. She reminds us that money doesn't make us, but we make money. Get your pen and paper. You are going to want to write down the practical tips that Athena shares with us to help us stay in the winner's circle. And now, Athena Blue.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so glad you're able to come and share with us and join with us and hear our stories as we tell them to you to encourage you and uplift you. So let me tell you my story. I'm going to talk about how I remained a winner after losing my money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money.
All right.
Money, money, money,
That's
money,
what I'm
money.
talking about.
Money. Yes, you can remain a winner after you lose your money. And let me go into telling you my story. Some of you may know, if you've heard from my other stories, that my husband died two years ago. He was in the military. He was an officer. So he was getting his pension and Social Security because of his illness. And once he passed away in October 2016, I did what I thought was a dutiful thing to do, and I called the Department of the Army, Defense Finance and Accounting, and told them that he had died. Well, let me tell you, with a click of a button, they cut off his retirement to me, just like that. And then I said, okay, so when will I be able to get it back? They said, Mrs. Blue, it's going to take anywhere from 60 to 90 days or more to get your money back because we have to process it by hand. I was like, what? Wait a minute. I said, you just click a button to cut it off. You don't have anything automated where I can talk to somebody and get my paperwork done online and get my stuff done? No, ma'am. I said, why? You're the military. You guys have all kinds of weapons. Why can't you help me out and the survivors out when a spouse dies? They said, well, ma'am, we just don't have it in our budget to upgrade our facilities here or our equipment here. So everything has to be done by snail mail. And then they went on to tell me that they're going to send me an application via mail and I should fill it out. If anything is wrong on it, if one T is not crossed, if one I is not dotted, they send it right back to me and start the whole process over again. And that 60 to 90-day period would begin again. Can you imagine how I felt? That retirement money or check was used to pay
our house note. And so I was devastated. I just couldn't believe that now I'm doing the right thing, telling them, thinking I'm going to be able to get my money transferred over into my name, and it's going to take anywhere from 3 months or more to get that money back. How am I going to pay my house note? They just now put me in a financial bind. I'm going to tell you, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was devastated. I was shocked. I was angry all at the same time. I felt like the military had let me down. They were not being respectful of the spouses, and I just didn't know what to do. Fortunately, I had my children with me. One was in the military currently, and one had just got out. And they were able to help me negotiate that system, which is almost like a maze. And thank God, my eldest son was able to step in and say, Mom, don't worry. I got your back. I can help you pay most of your house note if you can pay a small portion. So that was how I was able to get through that situation. It was something. And I'm going to tell you, it took 4 months for my husband's retirement check to be processed and sent to me, put in my name. My first check came 4 months after his death. Wow. I was really devastated. But God had a ram in the bush and was able to help me get through that situation.
And isn't it amazing how he always has a way, and he makes a way out of what we feel is no way. Even in the midst of that, I can just imagine with the click of a button, you went from being a winner, feeling like a winner, to losing your income. Did it make you feel like a loser? Did you identify with being a loser? And how do you remain or identify being a winner after losing something like your money? And wait, how did you say it? Say it again.
Money.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I did not feel like a winner. I felt like I had been gut punched. Not only had I just lost my husband, I was numb with grief from that, but I had just been gut punched by the military who just took the money away and didn't seem to care. Because when I said, hey, you just cut off my finances. And they said, oh, man, well, you don't handle that. I said, well, apparently you do. You just took it away. But it was hard. It was hard to see myself as a winner at that time because I was still in grief, and I had just been gut punched by the military. I did not feel like a winner. I kind of felt like a victim. I really did. I felt like a victim. But I had to rely on the power of God to work it out for me. Even though the way I felt was bad, I had to keep remembering that He was going to bring me out. He was going to bring me out. And because of the fact that the way my son presented himself, saying, Mom, don't worry, I got your back, that's when I thought about that thing about God always has a ram in the bush. And that's when I started feeling like, oh, my God, He's got my back. He's got my back. He's got my back. And I began to feel better because then I could see that there was a way out of the situation, because had that not occurred, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to get out of it.
And even though the ram is in the bush, sometimes he doesn't show up right away. And perhaps there's someone listening right now who's saying, wasn't the military, but it was my job, or it was my husband's income, or it was my business, and they've lost their income. And they're feeling, just like you said you felt, like a victim. They're feeling as if they're a loser. What words of encouragement can you share with them right now to remind them that even after losing their income, they're still
a winner?
Well, I can tell you that God never puts you in a situation that you can't bear. And my husband used to say that all the time. So that's one thing you got to remember. If you were in this situation, know that God is not far away. He is going to take care of you. And what our job is, because even though we can't see the answer, we just got to stay prayed up and focused on Him. Just what I mean by putting yourself in alignment with Him, knowing in your heart that God's got your back and He's not going to let you fail. We can't see it right then, but He is working out the situation for you so that you will be able to come out a winner. That's the word of encouragement. Know that God will never put you in a situation that you can't handle or you can't bear.
Good words of encouragement. Now let's take that word of encouragement and let's put some practical tips along with that. Let's talk about some things we can do when our income changes, whether it's drastically reduced or just totally taken away, so that we can remember we were born to win. So let's talk about budgets. Did you do a budget when this happened?
No, you know why? Because I was still working. My husband was not, of course, and because he had retired. So he was basically taking care of everything as far as financially concerned. So I had to start from ground zero. I did. I had to find out where everything was because he passed away. We didn't have a chance to talk about anything. And so I just had to go around my kids, and I had to find out where everything was, what was done here and what was done there. And that's what I had to do. But one of the things I had to start doing once I did make a budget was this. I wrote down my monthly expenses and then my income so I can see where I was and what was going out. And then, I wrote down all the bills like, don't forget just things like food, gas, school supplies, in addition to your mortgage, all the other stuff. Put all your expenses down and then put all your income down. And then you subtract your expenses from your income, and then you know how you stand, whether you're in the green or in the red. And then you know what you need to do. And another thing that I did, I had to start thinking about want versus need when I wanted to buy something. And since I knew I was going to be living in a bit of a crutch for a few months, whenever I went to a store or saw something that I wanted, I had to program myself to say, but do you need it? And if I didn't need it, I would put it back. If it was something that I didn't need in the store, even for groceries, I put it back. So I had to think in the terms of want versus need. And that would also help keep you on track with taking better care of your money. Want versus need. If it's something you need to get and you can afford to get it, get it. If it's something you just want and you don't need it, put it back. Let me see, what else did I do? Okay, also, I had a house sale. Now, when I say house sale, I had a yard sale. Since there was 20 years of living in a house, I didn't need all of that. So my kids and I got together, and we got rid of all the clothes we didn't need, all the, his tools and supplies and things like that. We just had a yard sale. And that also helped to bring in some cash as well. So also I want to talk about that budget. Let me go back to that budget. In that budget, also allocate some savings for you, even if it's just $5 a pay period, $10 a pay period. You may not think it's much now, but that's not important. What's important is you start getting to the habit of saving for yourself. And while you're saving for yourself, think about a tithe. Now, I know many people think that when they're going through a tough financial time, they can't tithe. I've been there. I've been when things are so tight, I'm going to think, oh, boy, I can't tithe. I just don't know if I can tithe. But I'm going to tell you something, that if you do, it's a blessing, and God will turn around and bless you. So that's something I'm just going to put out there. You think about, and if it's something that you can do it. That's between you and God. So those are some of the things that I said that we could do for practical tips to take care of your money.
Okay, so you said such powerful things to talk about. I know we don't have time to talk about all of them, but let's go back to the budget. In the beginning, you said, no, I didn't have a budget because my husband took care of everything. Yes. Can you briefly talk about what that was like when it all of a sudden had to become your responsibility? And if you have any words to share with women about learning what's happening in their household, can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about it prior to him departing. He would have none of it. Any talk about his departure was like a give up for him, and he didn't want to talk about it. So in essence, I felt like when he died, he kind of left me holding the bag. And so I was a little mad with him for that. But I didn't do anything with that because he was home and he was handling it. But when it comes to the fact that I had to do it, yes, I felt like, dang, now I got to do this, and I don't know exactly what's what. Fortunately, he had put on the computer in our bank account a list of all the bills that was going out, and I knew what bills we had, but I didn't know how he was paying them and how much went out. So I had to just start doing that, and it was a little tough because I had to get into a habit of doing that. And there were a few times that I kind of forgot this bill or that bill, and what I had to start doing was putting reminders on my cell phone, monthly reminders that I programmed on my phone to say, it would click up like a week before, don't forget to pay this bill. And then I would say, oh, yeah, we got this bill coming up. And so then I would go and pay the bill. I'm not one of those people who like bills coming out of my paycheck automatically. I want to be able to see what's coming out and when, so that I can control when the money comes out. So that's the thing I had to learn to do and be consistent about it because I hadn't done it before.
So you learned some things. Yes, I'm sure you learned more than you expected to learn, but everything you learned was life-giving. You eventually created a budget. You talked about writing it down, which is so important. So if you missed that, ladies, I just want to reiterate what she said. Write down your expenses. Write down what your income is so you can see it right in front of you, what you're working with. And then you talked about, which is really key, you talked about wants versus needs. And I know when we lose anything, we try to make it up one way or another. So for women, oftentimes, because we're judged by the way we wear our hair and the car we drive, even though we can't afford those things, we continue to invest into them. So even after losing money, because we don't want to feel like a loser, we go out and we buy things to make us feel good. What do you say to that? How can we buy what we need versus buying what makes us feel good only for the moment? How can we create that opportunity?
Well, as a mother of 5 kids, I kind of got out of that real quick because all the money was going to the kids. But I will tell you that I would have a spending splurge whenever I got angry with my husband because basically he kind of controlled the money. And whenever I would get angry, I would just go out and spend, just because I was angry at him. But that wasn't often, thank God. But what I do, I don't buy into the trendy stuff. Sure, it would be nice to have a trendy dress, but the dresses I have and the clothes I have are what people call kind of classic. They haven't worn out, so I just keep my clothes clean and pressed, and I feel good when I go out. I don't have the latest, little doodad shirt or whatever or shoes, but I still look good and clean. And regarding my hair, I've never been one to follow a lot of trends. I just like having my hair in a style that's easy to manage. And as long as it looks good on me, I'm fine with it. So, trends come and go. But if you have some clothes that are just what they call classic, they look good wherever, that's great. Even if you don't have clothes that's called classic, if your clothes are clean and they look good on you and they're well kept, go with it. Confidence comes from the inside, not from what people wear, actually. It comes from the inside. If you are confident in who you are and your abilities, then, whatever you wear, you can rock it.
That is so true. And as women, sometimes we forget the makeup don't make us. We make the makeup, because confidence and beauty really is from the inside out. You can be fly in your weave to the side, looking good as you want to look, but your attitude can be ugly, your personality could be stank, and it's going to show up, and it's going to show up over the weave, over the clothing. So it is from the inside. That's really good word right there, sister. Thank you for reminding us that we were born to win, and it's from the inside out. It's not about losing something on the outside. It's about remaining who we are from the inside out. Tell us some words of encouragement. Leave us with a quote, something today to remind us that we really were born to win, and that no matter what happens to us, we're a winner.
Okay. I'm going to leave you with this quote from Zig Ziglar from his book, Born to Win, Find Your Success Code. He says, you can start from where you are with what you've got and go to where it is you want to go. Now, what this quote means to me, that no matter who you are or what your station in life is, it doesn't matter what your financial situation is or how much education you have or don't have. You can take what you've got in your brain and in your heart, and together with a vision and a plan, you can get to where you want to go. Yes, honey, you are a winner, even if you lose your money, 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 because you've got what it takes to win.
Ladies, do you feel older, drained, and frazzled with no energy left at the end of the day? For years, Athena Blue struggled with these very same issues. Through her own healing journey, she discovered healthy ways to not only look and feel younger, but regained her zest for life. Schedule your free Energy Boost session with Athena right now and learn the #1 thing you can do now to turn your life around. Call Athena today at 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373. Extension 907.
Practical, purposeful, and strategic. Those are the steps winners take, and those are the steps that Athena shared with us. She reminded us, yes, we lose our income, but we don't have to lose our mind buying things to impress people that we don't know, don't like, and who could care less about us. But instead, we can set a budget and we can desire to live life on purpose by asking ourselves, is it what we need or is it what we want? It's time to get back up and get in the winner's circle. You were born to win. Remember, money doesn't make you. You make money.
Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Coming up next is Law Attraction Coach Angela Denise. Angela wakes up our courage as she courageously shares her story of remaining a winner after losing her man. If you've experienced a breakup, separation, or divorce, if you've lost your man, we want you to be inspired by Angela's boldness as she declares that she has lost her man, but she remains a winner. Let's welcome Angela Denise.
I am so glad that you're here and joined us today. I just want to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about my story and how I lost my man. We always think that, we're in love and everything is going to be okay, and we're going to be together for the rest of our lives. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong about that. I did not realize being so young that you don't need just love. You need so much more than that. We failed to keep God first in our marriage. We allowed the devil to come in and take our marriage, and then we ended up alone and not together anymore, losing the loves of your life.
So you were young. It lets me know you kind of got an early start. Did you have any mentoring going on? Did anyone take time? Did you go to premarital counseling? Did you do anything before you got married to just confirm everything?
No premarital counseling, no mentors. Only thing we said is like, okay, we love each other, and we're going to be together for the rest of our lives. That's the only thing we said, and we ran with it.
So you ran with it, but you mentioned earlier that you forgot to take some things with you because it's not just about love. So what are some things that were actually missing in your relationship that you needed besides love?
So what we were missing was having God first in our marriage. Not saying that we believe in God and everything, but we failed to have him first and foremost in our marriage. We failed to pray together, go to church together. Only thing that we knew is that we loved one another, and we thought that was it. That's the only thing that we needed, but it was so much more to it because you need to be able to communicate with one another. You need to be able to just share things with one another, and then just really being there for each other, not thinking that, okay, no, nothing is not going to happen. We're going to be okay. Even if something, bad comes, we're going to know how to handle it. But when you don't have God first and foremost in your life, you fail to be able to take care of your marriage. You fail because we trust in our flesh, and when you put in trust to your flesh, you're going to fail every single time, and that's where God comes into play. You have to have him first and foremost. You have to have him where he can guide you and lead you in the right directions, that when that devil comes, then you're able to turn him away. You're able to say no. You're able to recognize him and keep him out of your circle, keep him out of your marriage that you have. So you have to have God first.
So what I hear you saying is you didn't have God first. Your marriage failed. Does that make you a failure? And how do you actually identify with being a winner after losing something or someone that you said you were going to spend the rest of your life with?
After losing my marriage, yes, it absolutely hurt and everything, and that's something that I didn't want to lose. But I knew that it was time for me to find out who I was as a person. It was time for me to breathe, regroup, and get myself in order. Also figure out exactly what went wrong in the relationship. What could I have done to improve it? What things could my spouse could have done to improve it? How could we have worked together to make it work? So first in our marriage, but now what should we also do? So you have to, number one, keep God first. Number two, love yourself and understand who you are, and don't lose yourself in any relationship that you have. Because once you get to know you, and then you also get to know your spouse as well too, then you're able to have a successful marriage, a happy marriage. And yes, things are going to still go, not as you want to, or things are going to happen, or you're going to hit bumps and everything, but you're able to bounce back. So after losing the person that you love, it's time for you to regroup. It's time for you to find yourself. It's time for you to improve yourself. There's a number of things that you may need to do. I personally was able to really find out who I was, really correct the things that I did, whether it's, communication, whether it was nagging, talking, at him, as you say. I had to kind of figure out what exactly I could improve myself. So it was about healing. It was about regrouping. It was about actually me elevating the person that I was. And sometimes you get to a point that, yes, you may have been through the storm, you may have been through the struggle, but the other side of that and the person that I am today because of that struggle, I appreciate.
Nothing like lessons learned. So your marriage didn't work. Did that make you a failure?
In some parts, I felt that I was, because it was almost that sometimes I know how you say you failed to plan or whichever. I feel that we did not look into more of what a marriage should be, being so young. So I think failing, I could say yes, that I did. But a lot of times we have to fail and hit rock bottom to
So you learned some lessons along the way, and I just want to be clear on what you're saying. You failed in your marriage. Are you also saying that made you a failure, or did you learn some lessons through failing?
I learned through lessons from failing. So not saying that I'm a failure at all, but I learned through lessons from failing. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we do fall, in life. But it's about learning from those lessons. Every relationship, every season that we have is about learning from those lessons. It's a lesson in everything that we may struggle in, everything that we may fail in, is a lesson in everything. And that's what elevates us, because then if we're learning from that, failure, if we're learning from that failed marriage, failed relationship, if we're learning from that and then growing and not taking that into another relationship, then that's our growth and that's our elevation.
Okay, so you talk about learning the lessons, and you talk about making mistakes. So what's one mistake that you would suggest we try our best to avoid after losing our man? Because the truth is, we may have failed in our relationship, but we're not failures, as you just said. So to maintain that winning status, what's one behavior we should avoid after losing our man?
One behavior, ladies, I'm going to tell you, do not let anger take control of you. Because if you let anger take control of you, you will not be able to learn the lesson, because it will be in control of all situations, and you will make some probably bad decisions or that you would have made because of being angry. So one thing I want you to take from this, do not let anger take control of you.
Yeah, because for every every 60 seconds you're angry, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And, man, during that stage of anger, you cutting up clothes, you calling names you can't get back, you doing some crazy things. When we get angry, we lose our mind. We lose our mind. So avoid anger. And in order to avoid anger, that means as women we got to learn to talk about what we're going through and get the help. So sometimes we feel the help is in the man that we just left. So we want to remain friends after the breakup, whether that's a regular breakup, a marriage. Tell me about that. Do you think it's okay for women to remain friends right after a breakup with their significant other? And how much time do you suggest women take to heal?
Well, that's a good question, because I see it different ways. So ladies, let me take a minute to just explain how I view it and see it. If it's just a boyfriend or maybe fiance or something, let's say you don't have any kids connected. Let's just say that. No kids connected. It's hard to just be friends, because a lot of times men will see that as you still want to be with them. So you have to really draw that line. It makes it a little bit more on the edge. So I say, like, if it was a marriage and you have kids connected, then yes, continue to be friends. But sometimes you may have to keep a little bit of distance from you because you're still in the process of healing. So you have to definitely be cordial with one another. But you can still have that friendship, but you have to keep it separate. You definitely have to keep it separate. There's no having friends with benefits or anything like that, because that's going to only cloud. It's only going to cloud your judgment. It's only going to cloud his judgment, and it's going to make things uncomfortable, uneasy, because you really have to give yourself time to heal. You really have to give yourself time to heal, because that could take a year. That could take 2 years. For me personally, ladies, that was 6 years. It took me 6 years. 6 years not dating, not with anyone, 6 years to totally heal. But in the healing process, I was learning. In the healing process, I was connecting myself and making the corrections that I need, because I was thinking about future. I was thinking about, okay, eventually I want to get married again, so let me prepare myself. I was in preparation mode. I did not want to be the same Angela I was back then. Let me see how I can make some corrections. Let me see how I can elevate myself to be a better person and be a better person for my future husband. So that could take, like I say, a year, 2 years. For me personally, 6 years. It's all up to the woman of how long that takes. But friends, I would say yes. You can be friends if it's your husband, if it's your ex-husband, or whichever you have kids. Be cordial with one another. But when you're talking about boyfriends, fiancés, it's hard to draw that line, because a lot of times men I see sometimes, and even some women, can't just be friends. That's a hard line to maintain.
I recently read a relationship quote, not necessarily a quote. I recently read a comment that shared with women, and it said, if your ex asks you to be friends, to tell him no, you don't need any friends that look like your ex. I thought that was such a good answer, because when, like you said, it's a thin line, and when you're walking that thin line, you're going to stumble one way or the other and find yourself back where you're supposed to be leading, and you left for a reason. So emotions are still high, you're still attached, and you're not seeing clearly sometimes. So what would you suggest as we wrap it up? What would you suggest women do to find the help they need during the season of a breakup so that they can be reminded that they're still a winner even after losing their man?
I would say, definitely seek a really good friend, or if you don't have a friend, there are coaches out there as well, too. There are divorce coaches, there are life coaches that can really keep you accountable, because you're going to really need someone that is supportive, can listen to you, and then you're going to need someone that you can go to and ask a question, because sometimes you're going to be a little bit confused on what to do. Your feelings are going to be all over the place, and you're going to need someone really to go to and maybe even ask them, should I do this? Or, that'll give you some kind of guidance and someone that you can really talk to, because you are going to be all over the place. What I also suggest is, number one thing after a breakup, it gets a little crazy, yes. Number one thing I tell all the ladies that I talk to is breathe. That's number one. Just take a deep breath, because I know it's a change. I know it's something different. I know you want to make it work, but just breathe. Just breathe. Everything happens for a reason. It may or may not be the person that you were meant to be with. Just breathe, because it may have just been someone that was just in your life for a season that you needed to learn a lesson from, and we try to hold on to them for a lifetime. So just breathe. The next thing, make sure that you control your emotions. And that's why I got into the not being angry and not letting that take over. So make sure that you're controlling your emotions and that you're thinking before you're doing, because sometimes we make hasty decisions. We make hasty decisions that get us in trouble later. So we need to make sure that we think before we do. And that's why it's so good if you have a coach right there that you can call, or it's so good if you can have a really good friend that's supportive and that will make you accountable.
Great words of wisdom, and thank you so much for sharing, because we do feel like we're going to die. Like, I'm just going to die. And if we don't feel like we're going to die, we feel like we want to die. But breathing will totally keep us alive. It doesn't mean the pain won't be there, but it will certainly keep us alive. Keep us encouraged before we go. Angela, give us a word of encouragement to take along with us.
I just want to say to all the ladies, just remember, I understand sometimes we lose relationships. Understand if we do lose a relationship, what was that relationship meant to do or be for us? There's a reason for every single thing that happens. But first and foremost, you need to make sure that you love yourself. If you fail to love yourself, you cannot truly love anybody else. But loving yourself will keep you okay when a relationship does not work. If you love yourself, then when a man treats you wrong or is not right or it doesn't feel right, then when you love yourself, you know what you need to do. You know if that relationship is wrong or right for you. So you need to make sure that you also not lose yourself in any relationship that you're in. Make sure you always understand who you are. Make sure that you always have goals and dreams and visions for yourself, and do not ever let anybody take that away from you. You need to make sure that if you do lose a relationship, that you continue to move forward, that you do not just stay at home and just not do anything, that you make sure that you move forward. You find something in your life that will elevate you, and make sure that you understand your why at the end of the day and the reason that you're here on this earth. And you make sure that you stay encouraged, and you make sure that you stand strong every single day. And remember, the first thing, if it happens, breathe. Because you are a winner, a winner, a winner.
Yes, girl, you're a winner. And don't ever forget that you are a winner.
Do you have a strategy plan for your life? Is your plan outdated or collecting dust as life passes you by? It's time to stop winging it and contact Angela Denise, your certified life coach. Angela is waiting to help you develop a strategic life plan to get your life back on track. Be the best you can be with strategy. Contact Angela today at www.askangeladenise.com.
Angela, thank you for being bold and courageous, for being authentic and true, for sharing your story and reminding us, put God first. Enough said.
Are you an author, coach, or speaker? If so, Worldwide Women Speakers is your place to connect. We provide you with the REST, resources, exposure, support, and tools you need to succeed. If you love seeing lives transformed and have a message for women, we invite you to join the Worldwide Women Speakers Dream Team. Head over to worldwidewomenspeakers.com and complete an application today.
And now for our featured speaker, empowerment specialist, Sharon Ann Marie. She's a motivator, a mother, an educator, roadblock destroyer, and a lover of life. Sharon Ann Marie is an inspiring force on a mission to help young girls and women discover the power of themselves. Like most women, she experienced the hard trials and tribulations that teenagers and young women have to endure. She suffered eating disorders, depression, bad relationship choices, and as a result, Sharon has learned new strategies to discover her full potential. Her desire to be the voice for the silent and strength for the weak led her to become the founder and president of Simply a New Me, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping young women to write new patterns for their lives and to have young girls love who they are. Her humor, passion, and love for what she does has allowed her to coach and educate thousands of females as they discover their true power. Please join me in welcoming to the Worldwide Women Speakers stage, Sharon Ann Marie.
Hello, hello, my beautiful queens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you're here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sharon Ann Marie, your empowerment specialist. I spend my days working with girls and women to help them make what they thought impossible possible and to discover the true power of themselves. Today, I feel so honored, queens, that I'm able to share with you how to remain a winner after losing. When I first heard about this topic, I was so excited, as crazy as it sounds, but I just knew that this was something that so many of us women could relate to and would be amazing to talk about. I mean, my money, my man, my mind, come on now. So, for instance, for some, you may relate to having lost your money. Others, you may have lost your man. But for most of all of us, we can definitely say we have lost our minds a time or two, right? For others, if you're like me, it was all three. I lost it all 5 years ago. I laid down on my bedroom floor with little to no money in my pocket, no more 14-year marriage, 2 kids, and a mind that had completely shut down and was lost, wondering, what was I going to do? Okay. Let me just back up and rewind a bit. On the outside looking in, I had 5 years ago, what you would call the perfect life. I had the big house, the cars, a great job, 2 fantastic, well-behaved children. We had the barbecues, parties, game nights. Shoot, we even had counseling sessions. You name it, we hosted it. Such an amazing life I had. So I thought. Then it all came to a crashing halt, Queens. My man and my marriage ended. My money was being tied up in a terrible, horrific court battle headed up by my ex. And to add salt to the wound, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Then my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer. My daughter had developed a strange, undiagnosed illness that had her in a hospital for a solid month. And, I did say and, to top it off, I ended up with 2 stress-induced heart attacks and a hysterectomy, all within a 6-month period. This, ladies, is how I ended up face down on my bedroom floor, curled up in a ball like a baby. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but looking back, Woo! I had lost my money, lost my man, and most certainly lost my mind. Hands up to the sky if you can hear me or if you can feel me. I know I can't see you, but I know you're with me, right? Talk about feeling like you're losing everything. I was all over the place mentally, the hardest time of my life. But you know, the entire time that I took refuge on the floor, I kept hearing this voice, the same voice for days. And it wasn't my mind. And I'm not going to lie to you, I ignored it. Until it became so loud, Queens, it was deafening. It was God. He was telling me, baby girl, be still. Be still, he's telling me. How was I supposed to be still with everything that was going on? And if you're anything like me, those words, be still, sounds like a foreign language. That's like telling a child not to play in that really big puddle, but just to go stand beside at it and look and say, sweetie, don't jump in it, but just look, right? But because my body and mind were so weary, I was forced to be still. And it was only in that moment I saw life again, my life. Ladies, can you hear what I'm saying? I saw life when I was at my lowest. I made the decision to let go and let God. When I decided to surrender, it was at that moment, during the midst of all my darkness, that I was able to see light. I was able to look around and see beauty, my beauty. I heard birds sing sweetly and harmoniously, and I listened and heard water crash together against the rocks by a lake that I was at, visited all the time, but just never paid attention to. Everything old ended that day and started new with me. I saw things differently. I was still here to blaze through this storm. I was still here because God gave me the wake-up call every morning to live out my life's purpose. I was still here to continue the fight and share my story, to empower others and to pour into them my strength and my inspiration. Being blessed, being still blessed me. Being broken blessed me. Hear me now. It blessed me to have an attitude of gratitude and to realize that I was not the loser in this situation, but the winner. Now, okay, I can feel many of you shaking your heads and saying, this woman is crazy. She's trying to tell me that with everything that she has lost, no more marriage, no money, and no mind, she was still grateful? Come on. Yes, Queens, that's exactly what I'm saying. Many of us see loss as just that, something that has been taken from you. But when we change the way we look at things, our lens, our mindset, you will see that the loss you speak of and hold on to is actually a blessing, making you the winner. Let me give you some examples of how changing your mindset, or how I had to change my mindset to view loss, but to look at it to remain the winner. Number one, losing your man. Old view, my life is over. I miss my man and I can't live without him. Winning view. Losing your man means you take care of you. You have more time to get to know you again and deepen your self-love so that the right man will see the new and improved value you see in yourself. That was a good one. I know. Number two, losing your money. The old view I had. I will never survive this, right? But a winner's view is, losing my money was hard. Woo, but I will get it back. Others have been in my shoes, and they have done it, and so will I. Ladies, as women, we persevere. This is our true strength. We struggle, and we fight to the end. And finally, losing our minds. This is personally my favorite. The old view. I mean, this goes without saying, so I don't even have to tell you what the old view is when you lose your mind. But a winner's view. Have you ever noticed when we lose our minds, or that last straw finally breaks? Take away all the madness that may go with it, all the ideas that you created and developed as a result of losing your mind. Think about what you say. You say something like, I'm going to be sure that and then you go on and mention some amazing idea. You probably didn't know it, but you did. And then there's you wait and see what I'm going to do. And then you mention another brilliant idea. That, my queens, that fire is a true winner. Sometimes you have to lose your mind to find and see it. It all starts with shifting your mindset and the way you view your situation. Now, when I was going through this all, I came up with 6 strategies. I kind of stumbled against them, but they really worked. And I want to share those with you to help you change your mindset. So go grab yourself a pen and some paper so you can write these down, because these are good. They are tried, tested, and proven. Check. Okay. Ready? Okay. In order to remain a winner after losing, you have to first let go. If it is no longer serving you, let it go. RJ says it best. You don't have to live where you're dying or die where you're living. Let it go. Number 2, challenge your thoughts. The minute a negative thought creeps in, stop and change it. Make it positive. For example, you may say after losing something, I will never be able to get back on my feet. Stop. Challenge that thought and change it. Here's your new thought. It's going to take some time, but I got this. Doesn't that sound better? Right? Third, consume positive media. The worst thing you can do is watch, listen, or see negativity when you're face down, curled up on the floor. Watch a motivating video. Play happy music. Do stuff that is empowering. Keep it positive. No negative here. The 4th strategy to remaining a winner is write a winner's checklist. Write down everything you want to do and put it on the wall. Post it. Okay? This is proven. If you can see it, you will believe it. Trust me on this one. I have made some goals that I didn't even think I could have done. And everything that I said I was going to do, because I am a winner, I am doing it. And so will you. And another one that you can do, number 5, surround yourself with positive-minded people. It is a must. You need to be lifted up. You cannot get through or do anything if everyone around you is down. And that goes back to number 1. Sometimes you just got to let it go. Okay? And lastly, start small, but finish big. Taking those small steps and watching it snowball, ooh, girl, what comes out of that? Oh, it's amazing. Doing these strategies weekly, I promise you, will help you begin to feel a shift. It is just beautiful thing that happens because you start to sit taller and start to walk bigger and you start to smile more because those little steps are now becoming something. The change will come. Believe me. Practice these and let me know. Okay, so I know I'm going through some strategies, and I can hear people still talking and saying, yeah, she's got all these strategies. But you know what? I have some questions. So I gave you my story. I gave you some homework to do. And now I'm going to answer the questions because I could feel you all saying the questions, so I'm going to answer them for you. The number one question I know you have, Queens, is, Sharon, how can I be a winner? I have nothing. I have lost it all, everything. No, Mama, you have you. You are still here. You are beautiful and enough. And although you may not see it, the best is yet to come. Believe me, keep pushing. Question number 2, I know some of you are asking, why am I going through this? Honestly, why not you? You haven't seen your full potential, and sometimes you have to lose to grow. As crazy as it sounds, you've got to lose everything to see everything that you can be and that you are, a winner. Another question I can hear, Sharon, when will this be over? A question I ask myself 1,000 times, Queens. Girl, nothing happens before it's time. Take this time to develop you, love you, and heal you. Over time, you will realize that all those things were a moment in time and that you are now standing on top. Do you hear me? Keep pushing. What can I do, Sharon, to remain a winner? Well, first, practice my strategies. And then, seriously, reach out to others. I know this can be hard for us when we're down and we're out, but strength in numbers is empowering. And just like I'm pouring into you, like how RJ pours into you and the other women on this beautiful women's circuit are pouring into you, so will others. And lastly, you may ask, who am I? You, my queen, are a child of God, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Do you hear me? Anything. Now, I'm not saying that any of this was or is going to be easy. Lord knows I still have that body print in my carpet that proves to me every day that I got up. But after all is said and done, I am still here. I am better, I am bigger, and I definitely am better. I am a winner. You are a winner. And we will remain winners after losing. Winners fall, but they rise, queens. And winners see adversity as just another challenge to overcome. And winners, like me and you, will share our stories and our triumphs and victories. Do you hear me, queen? You got this. And as my time is wrapping up, I wanted to leave you with a poem that I created to remind me of what a winner is. And it goes like this. W is for wonderful, because I am definitely a wonderful woman, as are you. I is for inspirational, because I live to inspire women like you so that you can continue the inspiration. N is for non-negotiable. I refuse from now on to negotiate who I am. If it does not build me or grow me, I don't need it. N is for narrator. This is my story, your story, and our story, and we will decide how it's going to end. E isn't for empowering, because as winners, that's what we are. And R is for resilient. Nobody is more resilient than women, queens. This is what we are. And ladies, I want to thank you so much for your time, and I want you to know that you are amazing. Take small steps and change your mindset, and watch out for that superstar queen to rise. Don't quit. You are blessed, and you are a winner. a wonderful, inspirational, non-negotiable narrator who is empowering, resilient, and a queen. I am Sharon Ann Marie, your empowerment specialist, and I thank you all for listening and remaining a winner after losing. You got this. Don't quit.
When was the last time that you have been at the top of your to-do list? How many times have you silenced the small voice inside? Now is the time for a Simply New Me. Let empowerment specialist Sharon Ann Marie of simplyanewme.com help you to make what you thought impossible possible and to discover the true power of you. Contact Sharon at simplyanewme.com to purify your life.
What another wow, life-giving transformation provided by the Worldwide Women Speakers Dream Team. Wow. I have a question for you. Are you ready to run your race? I want you to know that speed does not matter. So take your time. Victory has been assigned to those who endure. Yes, it's true. Losing is painful. It's also temporary. But quitting lasts forever. Now, some say you win some, you lose some. But here at Worldwide Women Speakers, we say sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. We've learned so much from the experience of those here at Worldwide Women Speakers today. Thank you so much for joining us. Now that you've been inspired, it's time to take action. It's time to lace up your shoes and meet us at the starting line. We have a race to run. Angela reminded us that accountability is super important. Athena said, "You're not a victim. Get in the race. Stay focused on the master." Jessica said, "Healing is waiting for you. Take some time to meditate and always remember your affirmations." Don't forget, she also reminded us how important it is to go with those who have a full cup. Venus said, "Find you a cheerleader, and if you can't find one. Be your own best cheerleader." Tamika, thank you. As we're running the race, we can't afford to take anything with us that's not going to fuel us. So let go of those things you no longer need. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Sharon said, challenge your thoughts, turn it around, and consume that positive media. Write a winner's checklist. I absolutely love that. Write a winner's checklist. And surround yourself with positive-minded people. All right. We're at the starting line. We're looking for you, and we're waiting for you. Matter of fact, the world awaits your greatness. It's time to show up.